Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is 9 o'clock here on Wednesday night, October 22nd. Time for the 14 First Alert Weather Show at 9. Thanks for joining. I'm watching your comments on the 14 News Facebook page. So if you have a question or something you'd like for me to talk about, you can put it on there, and I'll be happy to talk about it here in a moment. And I've got to pick up my glasses here before I step on them. That would not play well here on the First Alert Weather Show at 9. We have our first frost of the season. That's really the breaking news tonight. We are expecting temperatures to fall into the upper 30s tomorrow morning. That means we will see some scattered frost, mainly in outlying areas, little valleys and dips where that cool air tends to pool. The official temperature is taken about 6 feet off the ground at all the locations around the country, at airports and so forth. But the air below that can certainly get a couple degrees cooler on mornings like this. And with a clear sky and no wind, we should have ideal conditions for frost to form. So a couple cold mornings. Friday might be even a bit colder than that. And then a chance of showers and thunderstorms moves in for the weekend. The freeze warning is for central Indiana and Illinois and extends into eastern Kentucky. Now that's where we will see 32 or lower, and that's the difference. Now frost you can have at a few degrees above freezing. For here in the tri-state, it's essentially southern Indiana, southern Illinois. You know, if you have plants that can't take this kind of cold, I mean mums can, but if you have something a little more delicate, you probably want to get it on inside here before you go to bed tonight. Last year, we did not have our first freeze until around Thanksgiving. It was on the 26th of November. But typically, it falls somewhere around Halloween, that first freezing temperature. Now, we get frost oftentimes before that date, as we're seeing here with potentially tomorrow. Then we shift gears. We get clouds and some rain coming in by the end of the weekend there and the start of next week. So lots of different kind of weather to talk about. The two weather systems we are watching, one will move in from the southwest. That's the one that will generate some rainfall. Best chances on Sunday. However, we could see some scattered showers popping up on Saturday. It moves out and then is quickly replaced by a more energetic system on on Tuesday night into Wednesday. And that one also could bring widespread rainfall and maybe some thunderstorms. The latest models here, and this just updated since the 6 o'clock news, shows the low becoming cut off, which means it'll spin up there and pull clouds and maybe some more rain down for the middle of next week. So it could turn into a real gloomy kind of scenario there versus what we've had this past couple of weeks, very sunny and nice out there. The rainfall amounts, I'm pretty much going to say pay no attention to these rain amounts behind the curtains. They are up and down and all around. If you were to kind of average it out, it still looks like significant rainfall is a good bet for the period from Sunday to early Wednesday morning. And that would be half an inch to an inch. But like I said, the models have been wild. Some are up at 2 inches, some are down at, a quarter of an inch. What to do with that? So right now, we're not even splitting the difference. We're just kind of spitballing and saying, given these two systems and the amount of moisture we're expecting, a half an inch to an inch seems reasonable for rainfall. And October, we're in good shape for rain anyway, so anything we get will be gravy at this point. Our temperatures are going to stay in the normal range all the way into next week, and that will seem cool compared to what we've had, which has been warmer than normal. Here at 9, we have time to look at more of the parameters or ingredients that you need for severe weather. And again, a cautionary note here. We're still looking out, 6.5, 7 days. So these will change, but at least as of today, we're not seeing anything alarming with the system moving in on Tuesday. Even the low-level jet, which was really ramped up in yesterday's models, has kind of backed off a little bit. The low-level jet is important because that's wind at about 5,000 feet. So you get a strong wind up there, it tends to either mix down and cause a damaging wind threat, or it can enhance storms that grow up through it. If you have surface-based storms that grow up this way, it'll cause them to spin, and you can get severe weather as a result. And again, shear is not really a factor here. On Wednesday, we see a lot of shear, but then again, the low pressure will be nearly overhead, and all the other favorable ingredients will be moved out. And you kind of have to have everything synced up, right? They all kind of have to occur at about the same time to maximize the severe weather threat. And then the dew point, which has to do with the amount of moisture in the air, we get a period there on Tuesday where we have a slender band where those dew points may come up into the 60s, and that would indicate that we have a little more moisture in the atmosphere, which is why we're kind of weighting this forecast more toward rain as opposed to thunderstorms or severe weather. At least that's our thinking here today. And the supercell threat, again, not lighting up anybody or anywhere here close by. And same with tornado threat, we're not seeing that showing up right now. Does that mean none of these things will happen? No. We could see changes in the models as we go forward. What this basically is doing is, as of today, we can say, well, you know, it's not going to be a big outbreak, or it doesn't look like one based on the models today. So I look at this as more reassurance right now that there's nothing, you know, major showing up many days out. Now, as we move closer to the event, by the weekend and that, you know, things could change. So that's why we check these daily, and I'm happy to show them to you here, kind of forecasting for everybody here, for all to see. But that's what we have on the severe weather ingredients. Very little to work with at this point. It will probably be windy, especially with that second cold front coming in. Wouldn't surprise me again to see some 30 or 35 mile per hour gusts as we get into Tuesday. Temperatures are really in the cellar now. We have 48 in Evansville, and it's already at 35 up at Duluth, 47 at Detroit. And the reason I show these temperatures upstream is that that's the air that's being drawn down by the north wind. Now the winds have eased, so not a whole lot will advect or move sideways or move in for tonight, other than just regular old cooling. And with the air being so dry, remember that dew point was down at like 25 degrees or something, it's going to get cold tonight. Your furnace will probably kick on, unless you're one of these folks, and I have a few of my family, so I know who you are, why you are. You're like, I'm not turning the furnace on until November, or November 15th. I am a wimp. Ours came on a couple days ago, and I couldn't be happier. Haven't gotten a bill for it yet, but you know, it is going to be cold. So, you know, there's no shame in heating your home if you can afford to do so, because it'll be chilly for the next few nights. And we hit a high today of 63. That was after we dropped to 41 this morning. And on the calendar here, that 63 now is one of the coldest days that we've had. In fact, it is the coldest high that we've had in the month of October. Sunday was a close second there at 68. And tomorrow we probably will stay in the middle 60s as well. No additional rainfall, but as I said a moment ago, our month we're pretty well pat on rainfall. And our average temperature, despite these cool mornings, still several degrees above normal. For Thursday, after we shake off the frost, those who get it, we will see highs in the lower 60s. That low pressure continues to spin across Lake Huron and then up toward Lake Ontario and on out there toward Nova Scotia and the maritime provinces there of Canada, and it'll take all the rain and stuff with it. So we aren't really under the direct influence of that big low up there, other than we're getting the wraparound clouds. Quick look at our tropical system. This is Melissa, now a tropical storm, expected now to strengthen to Category 1 and then make a turn here to the west on Sunday and head over here perhaps toward Central America. Now, it's not out of the question, you know, you get a hurricane out here, it could wander its way up into the Gulf, but it's way too soon to say. The earlier models that I looked at, the GFS in particular, was way off pace. It had it going up through the strait here of Cuba and Haiti on this side, and then heading out into the Bahamas. But that's not what the National Hurricane Center is saying. And I'd put my eggs in their basket anytime. I think they clearly, I mean, they know what they're doing. So the GFS was likely the outlier model in that scenario. So the bottom line here is, at least for the time being, through the weekend, Melissa, not a threat to any U.S. interests. All right, looking ahead, we have rain developing around St. Louis on Friday afternoon. Some of those scattered showers will work in here, but the air will be very dry still, so a lot of the rain will evaporate before it gets in. As the atmosphere then starts to pick up more Gulf moisture and get saturated, we have a better chance of rain coming our way then on Saturday and Sunday. The hour by hour shows a few clouds coming through, and this will actually get us all the way up to early Saturday afternoon, and we're showing mainly cloudy skies out there. The European model is at least in agreement somewhat with the GFS. For the midweek system, that would be Tuesday, Wednesday, it kind of develops it more to our east and then brings another one through on Wednesday. So still not a lot now of confidence, especially out into that 6-7 days out. What I am confident about is it's going to get cold tonight, 39 degrees with some scattered frost out there. Highs tomorrow should top out again around 64, and the 7-day forecast is a little chilly, as it should be here as we start to wrap up October with a chance of rain Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even lingering into very early Wednesday. The longer range outlook now has backed off a bit. Temperatures will stay closer to normal, as you saw in our 7-day outlook, and it will be a little wetter than normal too. With those two systems coming through, we'll likely pick up more rain than we typically would in October. I had to look at this picture 3 times. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Our pet pick tonight comes from Terry Hunter. This is Trigger. Initially, I thought Trigger maybe had been anesthetized, but Trigger's very happily sleeping here on a folding chair. I thought it was a suitcase, but clearly the cat doesn't know. You know, the chair can be opened up and they're quite a bit more comfortable. That's contentment. If you can sleep and smile on a folded lawn chair, you must be living right. All right. Let's see what your questions and comments are here this evening. All right. Well, if I can find it. Oh, wait, I'm not on the right page. Okay. There we go. Now, okay. Oh, we got comments. We got people watching the whole thing. Okay. So we've got, let's see. Jeff Miller's on. That's good. Savah's in the house. We got a picture from Jeff Miller. This is big news tonight here on the 14 First Alert Weather Show at 9. Zach Seitz. Is Evansville likely to get general thunderstorms instead of severe next week? That's kind of what it's looking like based on what I showed you today. Now keep in mind we're still many days out, so things could change. But at least as of right now, I'm not worried about next week. Okay, Paula Schaefer, good evening from Dixon, Kentucky. All right. A friend of mine has a plastics operation there. Pioneer Plastics, I think is the name of it. Eddie Knapp. Anyway, in Dixon, or near it. Allie Shanks, the app still says 30% TAM, so is that still true? Well, we, here at the station, we put the numbers into the app. So yeah, if it says 30 and it's 30 up there on the big board, then that's what it is. Okay? It's probably good to know. Now there are occasions when the app puts in its own numbers. Good old AI, and so we have to go in daily and kind of prune or check the numbers and make sure we're good. Cheyenne Hammonds, what's the wind look like Friday afternoon and night? Going fishing on the river. You should be okay. Definitely less wind than we've had up to this point. If you tried to go out on the river today, you would have gotten beaten up by whitecap. Same for yesterday. All right, Science Corner. Of course, we have our comet going on. We also have the Orionid meteor showers. Several people, I mentioned Eddie Knapp because last night he texted me and said that his family had seen a meteor near Henderson, or over Henderson. I mean, it didn't hit Henderson, but over, they were looking south. And a couple others of you sent me reports of meteors. I had one video that came in. I didn't show it on the air. It was really hard to see, but a meteor, a falling star. And the reason is that the Orionid meteor shower peaked last night, but we can still see meteors here related to the Orionid shower for at least another week or so. To see those, you'll want to go out and locate Orion. That's the one with the three stars in a row. Orion the Hunter, I think the bow is over here, and Shield or something. But anyway, look for those three, and then you will likely see, if you get out in the dark, far, far away from lights, you may see up to 20 meteors per hour. And it's going to be a little cold, so you'll have to bundle up if you're going to try to do that. And interestingly, those meteors are debris or space dust, what have you, from Halley's Comet. You know, the one that comes every 76 years, I think it is. It occurred in 1910. Big deal then, 1986, not so much. And comets, are made up of ice and also space debris, typically rock or some kind of material, and it's whizzing through the galaxies there, and these comets kind of come home to roost. They come in and orbit around the sun and then take off again. And as they get closer to the sun, they develop a tail, because remember, the sun is hot, and so even in space, as these things get closer, the tail forms and goes off the back, and that's what gives the comet its distinct look. We call this the comma or coma up here in the front, and then the tail. Now, it doesn't look flamey and dramatic like that. Here on TV, we kind of have to overplay stuff to explain, but you get the general gist. So, Comet Lemon came in from the solar system. It is going around the sun and actually made its closest pass to the Earth yesterday, and now we'll head back out into space, and the tail will get shorter as it goes. If you're looking for it, Jeff Miller saw it tonight right here near Serpens, which is about where it's supposed to be. And then by the 31st, by Halloween, it'll be a little farther west than that. Jeff told me he looked near the Big Dipper, which is right there, just below it, and was able to see it. And I'll show you his picture here. Well, there it is, right there. So Jeff Miller in Saval, our very own here, a loyal, long-time, daily contributor, watcher, got this picture. And I wanted to show his first, because this is what I consider to be kind of an organic picture. He just got out there with a camera, found the comet, did a time exposure. You have to do a long exposure to see these things. And you can tell it is because the other stars here, or the Earth is moving, right? And so it makes the stars have a little trace on them. And even the comma head here has that look to it, but you can definitely see the tail, which is very impressive. Now, keep in mind, Saval, there's probably 2 street lights there, probably one at Jeff Miller's house and another one out at the end of the driveway there, where to turn in. I don't know, but it's dark is my point. Now, if you have even more gear, camera gear in that, you can sometimes get better imaging by layering several pictures. And this came from actually Ken May, whoops. Well, I obliterated the title there. I didn't mean to do that, but this is actually Ken May's picture here that you see. And he took this out in the Bluegrass Wildlife Area. And again, he was looking to the west or northwest and was able basically to get in there and shoot several 10-second exposures, which is why you don't see the star motion there in the background. I got to get this title here right so that everybody's happy, and I like to attribute properly here when we can. So, well, now I took everything out. Let's try it the other way. Oh, I know how we can do that. There we go. And so this was Ken's version of the same picture, and he said that he was basically looking about 20 degrees above the horizon there, looking to the west-northwest out in the Bluegrass Wildlife Area. Again, an area without hardly any lighting or street lights or anything like that. So it's encouraging people at least are seeing this comet, after all this ado about it. And it will be visible probably for about another week or so, and then the tail kind of disappears, and it'll eventually just go back out into space. Okay. I think we got everybody's questions answered there. So having done that and shown the pictures, thank you, Jeff, and thanks, Ken, too, for the pics. And thank you for watching here, the First Alert Weather Show at 9. I'll see you on 14 News at 10 o'clock. Stay safe.